Fear Yah, He covers everything. Yahweh loves covers the soul. I guarantee He answers everything. So know Yahweh.
Leave people alone.
See what it will bring. See what it will bring. Fear Yah, He covers everything. Yahweh loves covers the soul. I guarantee He answers everything. So know Yahweh.
Leave people alone.
Hebrew
Leave them alone.
mostly prominent, like Shalom, because we're dominant. Yahweh's strength is greatly wonderful. The beginning, because He started it. Scriptures written, 2 ears to listen. Women, men, and children, here is the prescription. Our way of life is not a religion. Hebrew Israelites, the secret treasures hidden. We were chosen and given a mission. They could read the Torah, but not with His wisdom. Praise Yah, gotta praise Yah, praise Yah, gotta praise Yah, praise Yah. Represent, we gotta represent. We have the strength, we also
Leave him
represent.
alone.
Seeking Yah, always seeking Yah, seeking Yah, always seeking Yah. Yah is faith, He is our Elohim. We have the strength. We also represent. Pray for your spirit. Keep trusting God. I guarantee He hears it. Remember where He brought you. Never forget.
And that's him running off. And I got him stolen from me. But, we could talk about that another time. We up in Elijah's man cave once again. They're not ready for Elijah to come back. They're under a delusion. When we talk about these teachers today, they're scared of the women. They have the spirit of Jezebel. See, even Elijah wanted to die when Jezebel pronounced death on him. And these cowards that we have in our community are scared to face Jezebel in the community. And we're going to talk about Jezebel too, with a couple of scriptures to show that she's just like the women today, that she wants to be the head, and how she treated King Ahaz. Jezebel was trying to be the head of her house. She took King Ahaz' senate and did things on her own. King Ahaz went to her. So that's what we have right now. We have that Jezebel spirit, and these people are afraid. They're afraid to confront that Jezebel spirit. Now, we know that fatherlessness is the biggest problem in our community. How can we not have a nuclear family, in our community, where it talks about in Jeremiah how we're supposed to plant vineyards and build families? But fatherlessness is the biggest thing plaguing our community. Of course, the long and short of it is keeping the Almighty's commandments. But the way to destroy the people is to take the father out. And that's why they will never understand what Elijah, and they will not be ready for Elijah, because they steady kissing women's behind here. And let them do the evil that they're doing. They are not going against the Jezebel spirit of these so-called, and I don't need my face for nothing, but these so-called independent women who say it's okay, that I'm alone. These men are afraid of these women because he knows what type of evil that they do. They actually fulfill some of the curses in Deuteronomy. And we're going to talk about all of this. But they're afraid. It's like Umar Johnson. He admitted, well, he didn't admit to himself, but he basically did. When he was condemning Christian ministers, and he was saying how they don't want to talk against how single mothers keep children away from their father because they don't want to mess with the collection plate. Same thing with these wicked, and they think they righteous too. It's scriptures, and I know they. And then, like I said, when it comes to the Almighty's commandments, He's the judge of all of us. He is the judge. But in the same token, Elijah's going to bring the fathers back to the children. They're not doing anything. They are kowtowing, bowing down to the Jezebel spirit of these women out here. They will not speak up on it. They will not speak against it at all. I will show you some things Jezebel did. Remember when she stole that land from the guy, got him killed? She took the king's senate. Like I'm the woman. She the head. You know what I'm saying? She took the senate and then did that herself. Something that only the king was supposed to put the orders to do. She took his senate, and we'll read that. But also, when Elijah killed the prophets, he went to go and tell Jezebel what happened. He going to her. Now, I defy you to find a queen that acts in a way, and then Jezebel turn around and say, yeah, if by the gods you don't die, just like you did them servants by these gods. So she's the one threatening. It's not the man. It's not King Ahaz the one threatening Elijah. It's this woman he had who's trying to be a man, talk up to a man. I defy you to find another woman like that in the scriptures. But that's the type of woman we have here. Just like Jezebel. She don't know how to stay in a woman's, that's not a woman's place. But we're going to get into it. Because these ministers, these Israelites who claim to be teaching the people, are scared of the women with this Jezebel spirit. They would not talk against women keeping their children from their father. They won't talk against many different wickedness that goes on. The fact of the divorce rate. The Almighty hates divorce. But who divorces over 70% of the time? And in fact, I seen a study 2 days ago that said in 2018, women were almost 2/3. I think it was like it was out of 1,000, 31 would divorce you. And out of 1,000, 17 were married. When we talk about Black women. So in that year, they were more willing to divorce, almost twice as much willing to divorce that year than get married. I can, show this, but when we talk about breaking up the home, then we want to blame the man who was powerless. When you talk about your child is given to another people in Deuteronomy, in the law, and we're going to go there. This is given to it when you have someone who can take away from the father, especially the mother. She is not following the ways of God. She is following the ways of the heathen. And that's why these fatherless children grow up to be killers, mass murderers. That's the same as Deuteronomy, where it says you will long for them because they were taken away by one of these daughters of Zion. And you will long for them day and night. But they were given to another people because your own people would not allow that. The house of Israel would not allow that. But let me get to a little scriptures. I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah 38 and 19. The living, he shall praise thee as I do this day. The father to the children shall make known thy truth. It says the father to the children shall make known thy truth. It's not talking about the mothers to the children. It's not talking about the widow. See, when you had a woman with a child, she was always married, unless she was a widow. And the Almighty said that we're supposed to look after the widow and the fatherless. But it's to the fathers to the children shall make known that truth. So as long as they don't have no fathers, we will not have the truth. We will not. And that's what's happening right now. And if you read the book of Malachi, because right here it says clearly, the father to the children shall make known that truth. I'm going to go to Malachi 4. And it says, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yah. He shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I come smite the earth with a curse. So he's going to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers, because none of these ministers are going to do that. Now, I cannot lie. So let me correct myself. When it comes down to these Israelite ministers, yes, they are afraid of the Jezebel spirit. But I have seen within them that with the Almighty's commandments and some understanding, I guess some counseling between each other, they're able to hold it together, which is a blessing. They're able to make the percentage of people that can actually stay together possible in the Black community. Because it's when it says that 70% divorce rate, that's very disheartening. And that's why when we do have Israelites that are together, and for a long time, you have to take your hats off to them, appreciate them, try to do for them, try to keep them to come together. Don't try to gossip and get them away from each other. Because really, it's pathetic. Our situation is really pathetic here. But our situation would get better overnight if the fathers were back with the children. Gangs would stop overnight if we were back from the fathers to the children. What does a young man look for in a gang? What does he look for? What is he going outside looking for? He's looking for a name. Who am I? What am I going to be? Who am I going to be known to out here? I need protection. So he wants to go and head to the streets to look for his identity. Young man go to the streets to look for protection. Both of those are things that a father instills into his son. So we have, and truth be told, let's continue, because you always want to hear, oh well, the reason that there's so many divorces is because they don't want to stay, and women were forced to stay back in the day in marriages, but now they can leave. And that's what they always say. Even rebellious Israelite sisters say that. So they were forced to stay. But are they saying that there is no incentive in divorce court? Are they saying there's no incentive in going downtown to the same enemy that you hate, that we was put in captivity for, and say, I need you to enforce, I need you to be over this black man right here, because I got a child with him, and I'm gonna need you to go downtown. And if he don't do it, we gotta get the two wrongs do make it right. Because if he ain't doing right, I got to get this man on him. That's most likely going to criminalize him. Most likely going to lock him up. You know what I'm saying? Take this and take that. And all because what? He's supposed to take care of his kid. So, if you are a free man, then you ought to take care of your kid the way you see fit. If you are free. But no, they want to put the slave master on you. But let me go to the book of Malachi. I want to check out some things in the book of Malachi. Because, they always talk about they was forced to stay back in the day and things of that nature. And now that they're free, they can divorce freely. They can, say they're independent from us and things of that nature. We've dealt with a lot of that. I'm going to go to the book of Malachi, chapter 3. Let me start reading. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And Yah, whom ye seek, shall surely come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith Yah of hosts. But who may abide in the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refining fire, and like fuller's soap. He shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yah an offering in righteousness. Now I want to show you what needs to be purged today. And as we can see right here in Malachi 3, there is a debate on who this is. I believe it's the same one as in Malachi 4, Elijah. But let's just see who's going to purge and clean up people when he come back. What he going to have to do? And I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 4. Says, behold, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. And let me get it on here. Need to stop. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of Yah be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely, for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. When the master shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And what is he going to purge? Okay. So, moreover, Yah said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks, and wanting eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and make a tinkling with the feet, Therefore, Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. We see right here, bald head. He will smite the scab of the crown of the head of these women. It sounds like alopecia. But the most rebellious women, the most rebellious ones seem to be bald head. I don't know. Somebody, let's continue though. In that day, the master will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornament about their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the handbands and the tablets and the earring, the rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisp pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there should be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well-set hair, baldness. Tell me this shit's not happening. Instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty. And everybody else. So that's what's happening with the haughty women. And let me show you about these haughty women though. And I just want to, as a side note, the one reason I come on here is really not for people. Of course, this is for giving all who have listened to it information, but facts. The Almighty has to be the one that actually get me to do it. This is not, and call it what you want to call it, but all throughout the past, when I was inspired to read the Circle 7 Quran and show how it was lies, or the Book of Mormon. And then I read the Book of Mormon, and then 3 months later, I said I'm going to do a video on it because someone needs it. So this is definitely not for my glory. And that's why it stays on 0. Because really, I'm just doing this. And I don't want to sound crazy because I'm definitely not, I don't feel like I'm no prophet. I ain't nobody. But the Almighty did give me a gift. So he wants me to use it. And I've used it against the Talmud in the regular Quran. But this doctrine about Elijah is something that you will not hear from nobody else. Unless they listen to this, they will not say this. They are afraid. These niggas is cowards. I know it. So it's okay that, because I got about 1,000 some subscribers. It's okay that I got my same couple people that always check it out. As long as they check it out and give it to somebody, because obviously I was supposed to hand something to you. You feel me? And hopefully it make me righteous enough, because believe me, family, I need y'all to pray for me. You know what I'm saying? But to continue, Elijah has to come back and purify these evil women. We're seeing it right now. So all the purification he has to do. And he talks about these haughty women. And he'll talk about the scab of the head and baldness and and things that he's going to be doing to these haughty women. And that's what's happening. Are we not seeing it? And they choose, oh, it's a style now. But it tells you that's what he's going to do to the rebellious women out here. So take heed. Because it's happening right now. Are they saying it's supposed to get a lot worse? It's happening right now with these rebellious women. Now let me show you what some other rebellious women and what they did. I'm going to go to the book of 1 Kings 14. And in 1 Kings 14 and 23, okay, it says, for they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree, right? And there were also sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which Yah cast out before the children of Israel. So we really need to focus in on these groves. All right. These groves have a lot of woman worship all around the world. Homosexuality. You see right here, the groves and high places, images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree, right? And they were sodomites. Now we could check out the groves in a second, but let's go to 1 Kings chapter 15. Now, what does it say in verse 11? And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of Yah, as did David his father. And he took away the sodomites out the land and removed all the idols that his father had made. And also Micah, his mother, even after he removed from being queen, because she made an idol in a grove. Okay. Jezebel made idols in the grove. A lot of woman worship in the grove. It still grows out here today. Let's go over some of these groves. But let me go one more scripture before I start going over a little bit of these groves. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 30. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of Yah above all that were before him. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took a wife, Jezebel, the daughters of Ithbal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served the deity and worshiped him. He reared up an altar for the deity in the house of the deity, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab made a grove. Ahab did more to provoke Yah, Elohim of Israel, to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him. Now remember, this deity, Baal, had a wife. This homosexual in these groves, this woman worshiping, they got a man worship. Let me just show you about these different groves. If we can see here, we talk about the different sacred groves, and it's like, and when you go to different sacred groves, you can go to the ones from Celtics to Baltimics and things of that nature. But let's just check out a couple of them. This one right here, they worship this man at the grove, right? But this man's a homosexual. Look at this thing, man. They worship these at a grove. Okay, this man, this homosexual right here, Adonis, he had a wife. He actually is the one that lays with Venus or Aphrodite or whatever the case. Am I naming these false deities? I be forgetting these are false deities. But let me continue. So yeah, we see right here what it happened. What is it? Where is Adonis at? Right here. So Dionysus, best known as the Greek god of wine, also the god of intersex and transgender people, right? Male lovers of the god include and Adonis, right? They worship Adonis at the grove. Hold on. They talking about him worshiping Adonis. They worship Adonis at the grove. The grove is sacred to Adonis. You know what I'm saying? Over with these folks, with the Greece and Rome. Okay, but let's look at some other the other groves. Okay, they worship this guy at the grove, but let me show some. Let me see. This one right here is the goddess of the grove right here, right? But this is the Celtic god of the grove, right? Yeah. Let me try to blow this up, man. I can't really see it. All right, let me blow this up a little bit. She was the god of Sacred Grove with the Celtics, right? Okay. We got this Indian Sacred Groves in India. Look at these, man. Let me see if they got a nice, there you go, one. A nice big picture. Let's see what this is. You can see it. Hold on. No, went to the wrong picture. Let me go back. Was that a, let me see, man. We got the different groves over here. Okay, what is this? Right here. This is a woman. Let me see. Yeah, it's a woman. It's woman worshiping over there in India. Let me see the sacred groves over here in China. There's a breastesses on this one. That's the ones in China. These different groves. It's a bunch of women worship. Look at these. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Homosexuals. When they had groves in the lands, a bunch of homosexuals. But let me get up off of here though. I just want to deal with a couple groves. To be honest with you, it's a whole bunch of them. This is a Roman deity that was that you worship at a grove in Rome. All right, so we can go to. They're still doing it in India, worshiping a woman at a grove, but they got many different deities. They got these different shrines, and they got about. I mean, depending on the culture, they can have like hundreds of them. I know the one I went to, the African one in Ghana, they had about 77 of them, and some of them you worship at a grove. And this is what they were doing when it came to Jezebel. So there's different groves of different deities all around the world. But it's the practice of the veneration and the deification of the woman. And that's basically what's going on with the leaders. They're falling in line with society standards and with society. That's what the leaders are telling people to get marriage license through the state. They just recently, some of them just recently stopped doing that because of the pushback they got from my good brother Ben, who actually taught. And then it's a lot of other brothers, but I know one of the brothers was Brother Ben. He the one who really broke it down to me. But yeah, so a lot of brothers were teaching, and when you get married, you go to the state and get a state license. And we have intelligent brothers who push back on that, but they're practicing the veneration of the woman because they're afraid of the women in their congregation. And I hear them. See, you all don't really pay attention to it at all. I actually have some things I can point out that I have never pointed out, but I wrote them down while I was sitting there on the Sabbath day about how they would be afraid to correct the women. But nobody's afraid to beat up on men. That's why we have 4 times as much of a suicide rate. Like 70% of the time, it's a man doing it, killing himself. But it's a situation we're in where we cannot, when the state, and I actually want to go there. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 28. And this is a curse that had befallen me in Deuteronomy 20. I'm gonna admit that. Okay. And what does it say? Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. So when your child is stolen by a low-life black woman, white woman, happens to us, but it could be all nationalities. Thy sons and thy daughters are given to another people when that happens. They're behind enemy lines, literally. Literally, they will call the other people if you as a man try to get your child. These people are doing the work of Satan. These women are, especially when they want to call the police. I mean, we're not talking about somebody going to do some harm to their child. We're not going to have those people that try to jump through the back door on some garbage. We're talking about a father who wants to take care of his child. And what the woman does is called the oppressor. The same police or the same system that's supposedly shooting them down, doing them all types of injustices, will say, I'm going to use this system to make sure this man cannot be in his child's life. They don't talk against that at all because they're cowards and they're liars. It is what it is. And it's not, okay, well, because it's happening to me. It's 70%. It's over 70% in the black community. Fatherlessness. Everywhere, rampant. They're supposed to be, these leaders are supposed to be champions of the fatherless. Don't it say it everywhere? Fatherless and widow? You're supposed to be fighting for the fatherless. These low-life ministers are not fighting for the fatherless. No, they're not. If they were fighting for the fatherless, they will fight to get that father back in his life. These niggas are frauds, period. They're scared of the women. You know, so they can come up there And they, because people, even the Almighty said that people don't know the difference between love and hate. They don't know what's set before them. They don't really know. They don't know that they are kowtowing to Jezebel. And we're going to get on Jezebel too, because Jezebel really acting like these modern women today, really taking the driver's seat, really being the man in the situation. That's what Jezebel did. You can't find in the scriptures, you can't find no woman like that. Queen Vashti, that got tossed out. But you can't find women like this right here. But you find them everywhere. You can't find women like Jezebel did in the Bible. How she was trying to be the man, trying to, you know what I'm saying? You can't really find that. But you can find it all out here. They all the Jezebel spirit, they will not talk against. The fatherless, they are not trying to help the fatherless child. My child is an Israelite. He's a fatherless child. Do you think they're going to help me? No. Not when they're dealing with that. Will they speak up on it? No. So they would have one less boy in the house of Israel. He is now lost in the father. You can be a part of the house of Israel. A woman take the child. Are they going to help the fatherless? No, nigga, it's your fault. Nigga, you should have did it better. You made a mistake in the past, nigga. We're going to hold it against you and put it in your face. And that's why the baby is fatherless and going to stay fatherless. So when we're dealing with these different ministers and they read the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 5, he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers. And they read that. And they come up with a whole different thing. Oh, what that really means is he's going to return us back to his doctrine. He's not talking about real fathers. He's talking about how he's the father and he's going to come back to us. Or they always try to know. That means exactly what it says. He was the same one that fought against Jezebel. The one we got out here right now, very strong. Elijah fought against Jezebel. All right? So he's going to bring the fathers back from these Jezebels. But as I said before, that's why they're cowards. And they don't really want to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to upset, I guess, their pockets or whatever. They don't want to be just like, some people will just admit it, but they know it's the evil act. Yes, men take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You got a divorce. Okay, you had a child out of wedlock. Okay, now you have done some evil. Okay, take responsibility though. Get up, take care of that child, make sure you're there for him. But what about the woman? They don't never get him to, oh, well, you keeping him away from his child? I have yet to hear one of them say that. You know, I would be very surprised. And I think if they would say it, they'd probably say it kind of under their breath or in a jokingly way. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they're afraid of these Jezebel spirit. I would love to hear that because it's the right thing. But no, just blame. And like I said, I got brothers who was married who can't see their child. All right, unless they pay some money for somebody to give them a supervised visitation. And I'm talking about this man already got all types of children, always with him. He got his children with him, but supposedly he's such a danger to the one somewhere else. All right. So when you, as a woman, go down there and go get the white man, that's evil. Can we talk about it? Is it not evil? Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people. You went downtown and gave them to them people. And people say, all you need to do is call the police. You got all the rights. Don't worry about it. We're gonna call this guy dangerous. We're gonna give him every other weekend. So yes, I am cursed with this curse in Deuteronomy. Yes, it happened. But it didn't really necessarily happen. It did happen with the heathen because we're under the heathen system, but it wasn't the heathen doing it. It was a dead Jacob. You know, we can call them daughters of Zion. And you can say, oh, well, she didn't know the law. She wasn't one of those. She wasn't really into the law or whatever the case is. But we got all of them up in the children of, all of them up in the house of Israel. I talked to one Israelite woman. She told me, I don't know what type of situation she got with her father. And I'm not going to say her name. But she told me, I'll never let my father give approval for my husband. I said, huh? That's what everybody did in the Bible. We know that's our custom. Well, we don't live like that. I'm not. She said she's not traditional. I'm talking about somebody that is not an idiot. You know what I mean? I just don't really want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to start nothing. I would never do what the scripture said we're supposed to do and honor your father enough to allow him to do that. He would not honor their father. Period. But these single mothers are not raising these kids. They're not. Why do you think most of the criminals are from single mothers? They're doing half the job at best. Half the job. Let me do it like Kevin Samuels, though. They're doing half the job at best. At best, fam. But so they're not raising these kids. That's why they gang members, jail, all types of all that. You know they're not raising these kids. But you know what I'm saying? Shooting up schools. But so this is what we have right here. And this is what happened to my child. He was taken away and been given to these low life ass black women. They go to the oppressor to make sure that your sons and daughters be given to another people. Your sons and daughters, just because they the mother of their child, don't mean that they with their people. No, only a heathen. This is a heathen move with a heathen mentality, and the child is gonna be raised like a heathen with his mama. All right. This is not talking about one incident where they just stole our child in slavery and we were like, oh no, where my child's are. And that was just one time in history. No, this is happening right now. This is the curse that we have on right now. And they raise these kids up to be heathens to another people. They don't let the father raise them. But like I said, this right here, it may be hot fire. I don't know what it is. Or maybe they think I'm not saying nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? What they say, his words is despised. That's okay. Let me continue. Let me go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 29. All right. What does that say here? Build ye houses and dwell in them. Plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Right? Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished. Now, how are we going to do this here when these women are in control of the household? How are we going to do this when we got these evil ass women here? This is what they told us to do in Babylon, and we were able to do it. We're not able to do it here. Why are we not able to do it here? Gotta make sure this shit's plugged in. We're not able to do it here because of the evil women that these ministers are afraid to say anything to. So we know what it is. Cowards at best. But let me keep reading. Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished. We're not increasing. We're not increasing. Men don't even want to have a child because of how evil these women are by using the system and the white man. The same white man these motherfuckers refuse to talk about. Now let me make it very clear. It's not about skin tone, because white boys get it worse than us. Okay, they kill themselves more than us in regards to this same issue. But it still stands the same, and it stands to reason that we have wicked women in the house of Israel that do these things, and the leadership has nothing to say about it. That's not their business. The niggas, that's what I'm saying. So will they abide with Elijah? Will they deal with Elijah? Will people like this be able to deal with Elijah when they're afraid of the women? Are they going to get some courage when Elijah comes to actually say something to these women when they go downtown? Not at all. Seek the peace of the city, whether I shall cause you to be carried away captive. Pray unto Yah for it. For in the peace thereof ye shall have peace. For thus saith Yah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams, which ye cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith Yah. And he hasn't sent them. A lot of these people are having false prophecies. And the fact is, the Almighty just gave me, somewhat of eyes to see through false doctrine. So when I spoke up on the calendar, and what I'm saying, I'm hoping Ishak cool. I need him to sign something for me. But regardless of that, I just seen through the garbage. I mean, 2018 and 19, it had 360 days. 360 times the sun came up. So I counted that. But then this year, they got 367. So, what year? Do they choose a year to add 7? But I'm going to deal one more blow towards Jezebel. I want to show y'all a little something before I get up out of here. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 21. So let me show you what Jezebel did. Now, I really want y'all to pay attention to this. All right. So he was trying to get this. You'll see. Let's read it. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, why is that spirit so sad? And thou eatest no bread. And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, give me that vineyard for money, or else, if it pleases thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give my vineyard. And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, dost thou not govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth of Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name So what does she mean? She wrote letters in Ahaz's name. She wasn't supposed to do that. She was out of pocket. Like all these women are out of pocket. This is how Jezebel is. These women. So look, he didn't do it. That's what a king's supposed to do. And sealed them with his seal. And sent letters to the elders and to the nobles that were in the city dwelling with Naboth. So she knew that the elders and nobles weren't about to listen to no queen say all this. So she take it upon herself to want to be the man of the situation. Jezebel, let's continue. And she wrote in the letter saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme Elohim, the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. And the men of the city, even the elders of the nobles who were in the inhabitants of the city, did as Jezebel had sent them unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came 2 men, children of Belial, set before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth. And in the presence of the people said, Naboth did blaspheme Elohim and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. So right here, we can see that Jezebel took it upon herself to make a move when that was really Ahab. And let's keep reading. And it came to pass when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, Jezebel said to Ahab, arise and take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite and take possession of it. The word of Yah came unto Elijah the Tishbite, saying, arise and go to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whether he is going down to possess it. And I shall speak to him, saying, thus saith Yah, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith Yah, in the place where the dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall the dogs lick the blood of even thine. So Yahweh is going to kill him for what his wife did. And after his wife did it, he went over there and looked at the vineyard like everything was cool. I'm going to go, let me go somewhere else real quick to show you how Jezebel acts. And this is 1 Kings. This is what it says. It said, and Ahab told Jezebel. Now listen, imagine this. We got the king that told the queen all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. So after Ahab told Jezebel the one that lashed out and let it be known, I'm going to be the one to kill you. Now, what queen does this except a Jezebel? After Elijah does what he does, it's not King Ahaz that steps up and says what he going to do to Elijah, but it's this wannabe man, this wicked woman Jezebel, who want to stand up and think that they're going to talk up to the point, not a prophet of the Almighty, but to a man anyway. It's this Jezebel right here, the same Jezebels that we are dealing with today. But it's been about an hour. And it was a clean little nice hour. Praising the Almighty on the Sabbath day. Praise Yah. I got my last scripture I always bring out before I leave. And this is Jeremiah 9:23. It said, "Thus saith Yah, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. But let him that glorieth in this, that he understand and know of me, that I am Yah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yah." So I love this scripture and I always read it because I don't talk about my glory and my wisdom. Please, I'm not nobody teacher. These little low lives are on all on the internet mad. Ignore me like everybody else do. They want to call me all types of stuff or tell me to be quiet. Just don't listen. But I glory that I know Yahweh. And Yah, he wants someone to be able to repent and turn from what they did and do the right thing. And he wants the Father to be in their children's lives. That's the Almighty's righteousness. The Almighty's righteousness say going down to the heathen to keep the child away from the Father is evil. These men won't say it. They'll just say, "Oh, what did you do? Oh, you're wrong. I can't talk to her." Okay, yeah, we are wrong. We want to change. Today's a new day. The Almighty said you're supposed to teach your child when you stand up, when you sit down, when you go around the way. Well, how could we do that when we have a wicked woman keeping them away? That's why Elijah has to come back. But praise ye Yah on the Sabbath day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, public service announcements, boy. It is what it is. It is what it do. What up, though?